roaring to go. They have their speaking lines well memorized.
That's good. I'm very glad. I'm very glad. Sorry, folks. We were just discussing the lines that the kiddies are going to be reciting later today. I'm in during this session. I have a feeling that I want the very important one was meow, which I think hopefully they'll be able to get down at the right point. But it's cat actors. It's hard to really get someone you can truly trust in that role. Greetings and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, your friendly Lacuna. I use he/him pronouns, and this is the third session, second RP session of our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. We're going to go around and we will say hello to everyone and ask them who they are and who they are playing. We shall go in our standard order, so we shall begin with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. Hi, my name is Djinnaya, and I use she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Shah Gamelon, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries, who uses she or them pronouns.
Excellent. And now let us move over to Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns. I am playing Shantano. They are an itinerant empath of the apostate who splinters into fragments.
Excellent. And now let us go to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I am Arras, and today I will be playing Aroshka Ruzik, who is an eremitic empath apostate who converses with everything.
Cool. And we will move now on to Anino. Hello.
Hi, I'm Anino. I'll be playing Mac the Husk, an itinerant enthusiastic, the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits.
I like that. We've had a recent change, but I think it's going to be very interesting. And now, finally, with all of us together, Danielle. Hello. Muted.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and I will be playing Vormera Vanas, also known as Vor, who is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Cool. So we're having a bit of sort of back and forth with Roll20 at the moment, so there will be any music you may hear at some point will be sporadic at best, probably until it gets sorted out. Thankfully, this game uses relatively few dice, so we will, if need be, when the roll-in comes, then we shall be seeking other means to roll d10s, possibly tetrahedrons. Actual physical tetrahedrons might end up being rolled, but we shall see. We shall see how these things go. Thankfully, the app is still running, and so we have the Path of Suns. So we are going to start out here. We are when we left off last time, we were at the World's Fair, and everyone had kind of gotten some information from, to a certain extent, this odd thing that's one of the denizens of the Pale had been sort of set up as kind of a fortune-telling machine, and it was rather nicely at the end pointed out to him that this thing was going to run out of juice sometime very soon. And so he was like, "Oh yes, you're right. Better shut it down." And under the effects of a spell, he revealed a lot more about the machine and what manner of things were going on with it. In the meantime, I'm going to during development mode, we had Vor come in, and she came to the World's Fair, running into Aroshka and Shantano there. They explored an exhibit that was also from the Pale, that was something of a menagerie of death. All manner of different kinds of deaths were in play in this menagerie. And for different creatures representing death. It was an odd thing. And eventually, Shantano made friends with murder. Just the overall concept of murder that had a nice big cage at the end of the row. And possibly murder got free. We're not sure. We did see a line zigzagging up the side of its glass containment. And then the lion-headed folks in charge sort of shooed everyone out and closed up the menagerie, and it went dark. So that happened. That happened roughly at around, we'll say, 11 in the morning. I did discover recently that apparently, as I'm reading through the materials for the directed campaign, they kind of still do use regular days of the week and times. So we can continue doing that for the time being. So what I'd like to do first is just find out, for the last few hours, this is one of those fairs where you can kind of split up and then meet back up and do other stuff. What have Shaw and Mac been doing the last couple of hours? What have they been looking for at the fair? Also, something that that might help is if there's basically representation there from the from the main different types of suns, the ones we can see anyway. The main 8, and the fair is kind of divided into those. And so you have the silver sun, the green sun, the blue sun, the indigo sun, which is the one you're in, the gray sun, the pale sun, the red sun, and the gold sun. So if there's any interest in exhibits from worlds under a particular, or areas under a particular sun, then you can always just go to that section and we can figure something out that way, if you so desire. Or if there's a particular type of exhibit you were looking for, we can go there. So what have you been up to?
Well, I guess after the whole the murder debacle, I guess so. I'm probably meeting up with Mac.
Well, okay. So for the last couple of hours, though, what have Mac and Shaw been doing, either together or separately?
So Mac would probably head to the Blue Sun section, just because the Church of Illuminism is based in Blue World, and Cathedral of Illuminism,
Mm-hmm.
and that cathedral is basically an order or an organization that he has ties to, because they were the ones who taught him the meditative practices that allow him to be a vessel for spirits. So he will probably go there to sort of network and catch up with people if there's anybody else associated.
Okay, well, let us find out. I'm going to go ahead and pull our first card for the evening, and we will see what we get. Okay. So, we have... Oh dear, okay. Let's bring that in. We have the inevitable cataclysm, occupying that first spot there. So that means meanings are bad luck, endings, inevitability, breaking a relationship. While we fear the cataclysm, it is inevitable. We cannot prevent it. The end comes for all things eventually, and we cannot stop it. The earth quakes, the seas advance, the sky falls, fire engulfs everything. We can try to survive it, but that's likely the best we can hope for. An optimist might try to say that a cataclysm can be cleansing and change things for the better, but the inevitable cataclysm really isn't about that. It's about endings. In divination, it's difficult to see this card turn as a positive one, typically even if it suggests that something unwanted comes to an end. It is usually a violent and costly one. This card might just be seen as ill fortune, but it could also be the end of a relationship, the end of an ongoing success, or that a significant possession, like a house, might be in danger of destruction. So everything is on fire. No, not everything. Maybe just a few things. So also, something I did read up a little bit more on that I'm going to be threading in here. This is from the family of visions. So if your heart is connected to visions, you get a +1 while this card is in play. So you may desire to check on that if you're if that is the case. Right now, all gold magic is boosted and silver magic is goes down. So it's the way that, as I recall, this works. Gold spells are up a level. Silver spells are down a level. So that's so just check the sun of the spell when you want to cast one, and that will make adjustments. So I don't think that, first off, I don't think that the cathedral is participating in the fair right now. I think that what you're going to see more than anything else, as we are just sort of looking over at the blue sun, is that see what you usually get in the blue sun are dream spirits. They tend to be the things that live there most often. I think you're going to get I think you're going to get a lot of dream stuff out here. Stuff more connected to the blue sun's night side. So it seems like that most of the ones that showed up for this fair are nightmare aspected, and so what you're going to get is, as you're sort of looking through the blue area of this fair, you're going to find that you have basically that there is a sort of an odd kind of thing where you have these tents offering nightmare experiences. It's kind of like, and the people going there are kind of treating them. They're a little bit like carnival rides to an extent. But it's like there's things where it's like you get shoved in with a nightmare to be able to to have that, just a nightmare, not necessarily a nightmare of your choice per se. There's a limited number of them, but you have basically folks who are going in and trying to have these strange sort of horror experiences, basically more than anything else. So you do get this thing that looks actually not unlike the night circus that is just a bit to the south, so quite a number of things. I'm going to just, by the way, if I hit something that's a phobia for anyone while I'm talking about this, please feel free to X-card me while I'm doing this. My first question is, how do we feel about clowns? Okay.
So, not a fan, but
okay. Well, we don't have to have clowns there.
No, I mean, we could do clowns. I'm fine with clowns.
Okay. So what you're going to have is, one of the predominant figures, you see this like 7-foot tall clown, who is with who has like the spiky hair. It seems to be doing kind of an understated thing, though. It's more of a he has the spiky hair, but it's black, and it's more. It looks like he's doing more of. He doesn't have much color on him. He's doing more of the sad clown thing, just sort of coming in this circle, and there's this creature standing on its own head, by which I mean its head is detached from its shoulders and is currently just sort of up on a box, and it's got its on a low box, and it's got its leg up on top of its head, Captain Morgan style, and it's going to be it's going to be one of those things that you're gonna that it seems to the head just keeps yapping on and on about come in and fight the killer clown. Come on, you know you all want to. Come and face your worst nightmares. That's like, and it's doing quite a lot of business. Strangely enough, there is just for some reason people are drawn to this exhibit more than anything else. And it's up to you whether you choose to interact with this, but I am going to hop briefly, as you're digesting that, over to Shah, and I want to find out what section of the of the fair you've been investigating.
I think that if Shah were on their own, that she would head over to the Gold Sun area, because she is looking like she feels like she's done kind of enough at this point and sort of getting settled, and she's looking for something new. So maybe the Gold Sun is where she would go.
Awesome. So what I should do is I'm actually going to pull another card because I can't stop myself, and that's really the motivation behind the pulling of the cards. The GM cannot stop himself. So here we go. As you're heading over to the Gold Sun, which is all about change. It's all about rebirth. You find that the card that we have pulled is it is the Banished Serpent.
That doesn't sound positive.
It's wonderful. It's a great card. So the Banished Serpent, it is the suit there is mysteries. So if your heart is connected to mysteries, anyone, while this is all going on, then you're at +1 to everything. Silver is up now, gold is down. So vislae no exile. But for them and their time in shadow, the exile was self-imposed. The banished serpent was cast out, sent back from whence it came. This is slightly familiar. Banishment rids us of a problem, but it does not bring it to a permanent end. It is rarely a true solution. Rather, it is most often a punishment. We banish those who have threatened us or wronged us, because exile is what they fear. The fact that it ends the threat, at least temporarily, is just an added benefit. As a punishment, then, it is an act of balance, an appropriate and measured response to an unwanted act. And in divination, the banished serpent can be a blessing or a curse, depending on who is getting exiled or punished. The card turn may suggest that the person in question faces this fate, but it might also be someone else involved in the matter at hand. Sometimes, though, it can simply be a balancing of the metaphorical scales. It can mean that someone gets what's coming to them, whether that be good or bad. It's a settling of accounts, so to speak. So I think then that from the Gold Sun, what we're going to see, as we're looking this over, is you have sort of I think a lot of them are folks who are not really as much followers of sort of the Sun's Warden's ways, and sort of folks that are kind of pull back a bit. They're basically inhabitants of the Gold Sun. It's a lot of Elderbryn out here. So you're going to see first off the mime is here that is doing some work. I think today the silent actually what today what they're doing is a series of paintings. They've got a booth set up, and they're standing there and they're capturing people's images. And the interesting thing about it is that the paintings move, in not quite the Harry Potter sense, because they kind of like the figures in the painting kind of change as time goes on, and it's like this is sort of like what happens conceptually to whoever's figure they have captured, and it sort of slides into another form, but it's not so much like aging as it's like internal progression, sort of. And whether it's true or not, hard to say. But he seems to be a pretty decent artist. So that's going to be the first thing you see. You also see there are a number of different stands. There are a number of booths here from selling a lot of different things, sort of foods and other things from under the gold sun. You see there is a they have a thing here that's called the Changery experience inside this this squat building, which is weird because you can just go to a Changery and pay for it. So perhaps this is something different. It's hard to say, but that's predominantly what you're going to the first few things you're going to see under the gold sun.
Okay, I think that because I'm not really interested in committing right now, I'm just sort of looking around and picking up information, that I would wander through and try a few foods and kind of, I think that she's just sort of doing that thing where you never walk into anything. You just kind of skirt around the outside and look for pamphlets that you can kind of sneak and say, thank you, and walk away. Like, I think that's pretty much what she's going to do.
Okay. So I think after a while of doing this, you're going to see a lot of different things. You're going to pick up several different little... it's like a convention experience. You end up with this wad of pamphlets and business cards.
Yes, but I won't remember who gave me which one.
Yeah, not at all. Perhaps one will alight later that has greater significance, but you do get a few different things. Mac, what are you doing? What sort of just in general? What is your approach to the blue area of the fair?
So he's going to look around and see if there are any free spirits in the area that are sort of looking on at this particular exhibit. He doesn't really want to commit to fighting a nightmare in the event that he gets sucked into it for much longer than he wants to, because he does have an appointment for lunch with the rest of the group. So as much as he would cherish the idea of fighting a nightmare, he's not going to do it by himself, because that's just plain silly. But he's going to want to see if there are any spirits around and maybe converse with them.
All right. So let me see. I think as you're kind of hunting around for spirits here. You're going to find that a lot of these are... Hang on whilst I re-pull this here. Yeah, so a number of the dream spirits here are kind of, like I said, sort of nightmare aspected, but yeah, you're going to find, say, a spirit that is relatively... It's kind of actually they're wearing a veil, and just kind of sort of standing there hovering, and they're watching some of the fights, and a few of the and they're sort of wandering back and forth from there to one of the booths where they're selling things on sticks that are just kind of have been sort of charred and blackened and are not identifiable.
Charming.
Yeah. But are you going to be like striking up a conversation with them, that kind of thing?
Sure. So Mac's going to shuffle up beside them and peer over the people to take a look or observe the fights, and tip his cap to the spirit and say, "Morning. Anything interesting going on?"
It is difficult to say. I think that it's just strange being here. We're not making much right now. But it's an interesting curiosity. Just Claude over there got a flyer and decided that we all had to show up. And she's gesturing to the beheaded individual.
That gentleman's name is Claude, you say?
Yes. That's what we call him anyway.
Huh. What?
It was sort of a stage name, but folks don't really get it.
Folks don't really get what?
The reference.
I'm afraid I don't really get it either. But
It's a reference to how he lost his head.
fair enough. What kind of people are here that seem to be so very interested in fighting the more troublesome aspects of their dreams?
We've got a few demons showed up, although they're just more curious than anything else. We've had a vislae or two, a few vislae. We've had a surprising number of ghosts. The dead seem to always be interested in a second chance. What about you? Do you like to fight your nightmares?
He'll just shrug non-committally.
She nods. And her veil moves a little bit strangely. She's got one of those whole head veils, basically, that sort of covers the whole thing.
Not usually an activity I like to think about attempting before noon.
Yeah, well, it's, daylight's easiest for me. It's actually a little bit odd right now because the part of Blue where I am, I don't get out a lot. We don't get a lot of daylight down there. And this is the opposite of when I'm usually awake, so I'm really all messed up right now.
It's a shame. Is this
Times
exhibit
when
going to be going on all day?
I think so. Just quite simply because, as she just sort of looks up there and gestures at the clown. He pretty much can, has an unlimited amount of energy, it seems. He's very enthusiastic about this kind of thing.
Well, showmen usually are.
It's fair, yeah. But he's very enthusiastic. He's usually meant to be more sorrowful, but he doesn't get out much, so he likes it when he comes out.
How about you? You mentioned you don't seem to get out a whole lot. Is that?
No, for a while. It's mostly been interacting a little bit lately with, it's just, the occasional shadow folk will have their aspects of themselves show up, and I get to terrorize them for a little while, and it's nice. But it's just not. It's very, you don't get to really, get to really socialize or anything much. And she's actually heading over to a booth, and she's like, "Coffee."
Oh, that's very polite of you. I thank you.
And she goes over and she just is, and behind the booth is this very gaunt-looking creature with gray skin, and it's hairless. And she looks up and as she heads up to it, she just holds up two fingers, and it very much immediately just starts going to this kind of there's a cappuccino machine that's very nervously starting to make coffee at. And while the coffee is being made, I'm going to leap very briefly back over to Shai again, just to find out, is there so as you've been kind of looking through these different cards, you get a few that look like they're a little bit probably a little more interesting. But after, and so those are kind of closer to the top of your pile. Are you going to try to interact with anyone, or are you going to, after you've kind of done your circuit, are you going to head back to folks, or?
I mean, I think I'm mostly going to try and hook up with the rest of the group.
Okay.
I think that at this point, her mission was to kind of find information on different groups that she might be interested in, but not to commit to anything. But I think that kind of hanging out with everybody earlier in the day and seeing the vision of all of us together, that seems that, and pursuing some mysterious man surrounded by dolls seems like her best leads. So she's going to go back to where she actually knows that there's people. So I think that's
so
her.
You're kind of heading back to where you last saw them, which was sort of in the pale section. And you see there's this crowd of people kind of running away from this large glass structure, and sort of toward the back end you see, and I realize I've got a couple of people in the wrong position. I'm going to fix that. Around sort of there, you see that you see Arushka and Vormera. I don't know if you know Vormera or not, because I don't remember if you do, but you see them together, and then sort of Shantanu is sort of sauntering behind them, as you see that these two lion-headed people run back into this place, slam the door shut, and the whole thing the glass just goes black.
Okay, then I think that I would just walk over there and sort of wave from a distance. and show up.
So, and actually now Jim is remembering something, because time is an odd thing. You see that kind of in an odd reflection for a moment. You head there, and then you realize by the time you finish walking over there, a strange sort of this sort of effect happens for a moment, as this kind of mist passes in front of you, and as you step through, you're it's like, wait a minute, where are they? Because there's now no one in front of this building, and you glance over and you see them now coming out of a tent, a small tent that's not too far away, because Jim suddenly remembered what happened at the end of the last session.
Okay. I shake my head a little bit and kind of clear my eyes and make a mental note to check on that later, and head over in the direction of the group as they're coming out of the tent.
Okay. Yeah, the best guess is that was probably briefly the gray, which happens sometimes. So shadow will sometimes creep
living
up
so
on
next
you.
to Karen, I worry about slipping back into shadow, so I have to be careful.
Yeah. So yes, now you see them coming out of this tent.
I walk over. What have you found? I went to Gold, and there was nothing tremendously interesting there. Some sort of changery, and she's got like these little pamphlets, and she's sort of she's manifested. She's got kind of this filigree bracer on one arm, and she's manifested a pen, and she's writing notes with this pen that sort of appeared in her hand. What did you find?
Well, there was this menagerie, except it wasn't animals. Possibly one got loose. So they're closed now.
Oh, that's too bad. That's 2 exhibits we've closed. We're doing quite well.
Yes. It was quite interesting. I found some coins, actually, or was gifted some coins.
Wait, you found coins, Shantanu?
You were gifted coins? By
Gifted
someone you've
coins,
trusted?
yeah. They seemed pleasant enough.
All right, then.
I mean, I don't know what to do with them, but they're interesting nonetheless. I mean, we did go to that fortune teller. And that was a little ominous, though.
Oh. What was your fortune? Or maybe that's too personal. I'm sorry. Sometimes I ask really personal questions. I apologize.
Oh, we did one fortune for the 3 of us, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something about a long journey that may or may not end or come back to the exact same thing. Oh,
Sounds a lot like life.
horrible.
I turned to 4. I'm Shaw Gamelan.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Vormera Vanas. I'm Arashka's cousin. Arashka, you do know her, right?
We've met.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well. So, any ideas on where we should go for lunch?
Is it that time already?
I don't know. Any ideas on where we should adventure next?
Well,
We've done something in the Pale and something in... where was that first place?
I think the rest there were food trucks around the corner.
That was also the Pale, strangely.
Maybe let's not go to the food trucks in this section. Let's try a different one.
I think I agree. I would avoid maybe red, too.
What's wrong with red?
I have a feeling it would make you not feel well if you ate in red. Maybe not.
What about the green food trucks? Those should be all right.
Let's head to green. Did we tell Mac where to meet us?
I don't believe so.
Especially considering we just decided.
Well, never mind. Let's go.
Things do tend to be pretty lively in the green anyways.
So you're heading toward the green. I think that you can, if you wish, you may hunt down Mac and bring them along. If as kind of a thing, or if you want to just go there, or do you just go there and just wait and see if he appears? Wait and see if they appear.
So, like, what would we know Mac well enough to know that we should get them, or that they wouldn't want to be disturbed?
It's a question for Anino, really.
Well, I mean, Vormera and Mac were friends in Shadow, so I feel like if anyone would know, it would be Vor.
Yeah, Vor would probably knows him well enough to know whether you'd need to get him, or you need to get them, or if they'll find you.
So, Mac, should I come get you?
Yeah, probably, because Mac tends to get sidetracked a lot by spirits, given his association with the Church of Illuminism and being a vessel.
Okay. then in that case, I'll turn to the rest of the group. It'd be like, oh, Mac's invited. Oh, I love Mac. We should probably go get him though.
So probably in the blue. I'm just going to guess. Shall we swing by on our way to the green?
That sounds excellent.
Excellent. So you take a little detour into the blue, and you're going to find Mac is sitting and chatting with this tall person who's possibly a she/her, but she's got a veil covering her head, and she's not like 6 feet tall, and she has, I didn't really describe very much, but she seems to be, she's wearing she's wearing a kind of a sort of grayish dress that seems fairly simple, and she has slightly green skin. It looks like her skin looks somewhat greenish. And she's wearing sandals.
I'll just call out, I'll be like, Mac, and I wave.
So then Mac will just look up from his coffee and glance over and give a polite wave back, and then thank the spirit for the coffee. Perhaps we'll leave a crystal just to cover the cost of the coffee.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you for your company. I do appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I'm not really on the clock right now, so it's all good. I'm Petra.
Petra, it's a pleasure to meet you. If happen to need anything, feel free to reach out.
She nods, and again the veil sort of ruffles a little bit as she does. And
Great look, by the way. Very mysterious.
Oh well, it's a lot easier. It's thank you. I got a new one. It's for convenience more than anything else. You know. It's not really ideal for me to go around here without one.
I can see how that would be a challenge. My sympathies. But enjoy the rest of your day. Say hi to Cloud for me. And,
he'll. I'm sure he'll be. He'll have all manner of questions.
So Mac will just give a slightly uncomfortable laugh and be like, "Oh, well, yeah, enjoy the nightmaring."
If you actually at any point shake her hand, she feels a little scaly.
Well, I suppose that would be the polite thing to do. Would his hand pass through hers?
No, I think that that spirits have the ability to be solid.
Okay.
So, and at least here they do. So perhaps. But but yeah, right now no, you can touch right now.
Okay. It would be very unusual for him to do that because he doesn't want to give anyone the wrong idea that just step right in.
Yeah.
He'll give a casual greeting of the Cathedral of the Illuminism and head back to join Vormera and the rest of the group.
I will say when you do that, she just sort of is like, sort of turns her head in perhaps intrigued when you give that greeting because she recognizes it.
I should note that all vessels actually have to wear that as a badge. It's sort of a beacon, sort of like the Uber tag on the back windshield.
Nice. Excellent. Excellent.
Ghost Uber.
Ghost Uber.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, hey, check it out, guys. Captain Morgan over there invites you to fight your own nightmares. If you're interested in exchanging fisticuffs with whatever it is that suits your fancy.
There's a giant clown suplexing someone right now.
Everybody just turns and is like,
I don't know if I'd want to fight mine so much as face it. They're not exactly the same, I believe.
Shaw
I
shakes her
Vor,
shakes her head and says, I don't even want to re-meet mine. Thank you.
Pulls out like an extra shiny looking coin and just like does a coin flip real quick, catches it and does the on the back of her hand, and she looks at it and goes, "Not today."
Yeah, I thought about it, but I wasn't quite in the mood. Perhaps another time. So is it that lunch hour already?
We were headed to the food trucks in the green.
Ah, fabulous.
I'll lead the way.
So let's see how the lunch experience is going to be.
oh boy.
As he draws another card.
A card for lunch? Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, glorious. So the lunch card is the rat,
Yuck.
and this is the companion of mysteries. It's right now, and it's a companion. So there are particular effects which which are currently not in the front of my brain, so we're not going to worry about it right now. But its meanings are survival, resistance, shadows, and concealment. Rats are masters of survival. They're hardy, smart, and stealthy. This works perfectly with what I was thinking about. Some rats, of course, get very smart and devise whole new ways of prospering amid humans, literally right under their noses. A few rats learn to adopt human identities through disguise, concealment, and trickery. Humans as a group are notoriously easy to fool, as long as you don't overtly threaten them, and rats have no need to do so. The rat is the companion of the mysteries family. The rat sees much and learns much, and keeps those secrets to itself. It keeps to the shadows, and in fact is the lord of the shadows. Divination. In divination, the rat is the companion of the mysteries family. The rat sees much and learns much, and keeps those secrets to itself. It keeps to the shadows, and in fact is the lord of the shadows, as it says. If one can keep a low profile in divination here, success is very likely. If a stronger force presents itself, resist, but do so cleverly and from the shadows, not openly. Sometimes survival is the best one can hope for, but that is the very thing the rat card suggests. No matter what, the person in question will at least survive if they keep concealed. So here's the deal with food trucks from the green. The thing is that they're really more of a thing where there's this little archway leading into this field, and you're expected to catch your own lunch.
Oh my god, love it.
So he's going to look around, and Mac's going to look around and be like, oh, this is quaint. So do the food trucks here just give you hunting implements?
Is it the cooked food that's running, or
It's an important question.
That was my question.
Also, I just looked up companions, and it means that the same effects from the previous card are still in effect. So silver is up, gold is down at the moment. So that's the effect going on. Yes. So at the entrance, you see a wolf. Just sort of this big wolf is just sort of standing there and nodding. and just looks at you all. 5?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And ranged or direct?
Um,
The group. How are we feeling today?
I'm more of a direct person myself.
Mac is
Is
going
it
to.
gonna be direct?
Yeah,
Sure.
you can do direct.
I'll look back at the wolf. Direct, please.
Very good. And he just sort of picks up in his mouth the like five spears. Just kind of nudges them over to you. And do you?
I'll pick them up.
And will you also be? And do you also? Would you also like to be chased while this is going on?
Does that include a discount?
Oh goodness, no. That's an additional service we offer.
Oh,
Sounds fun. What do you all think?
Yes.
I
It's
don't.
another
think
couple of
we want
orbs for that.
chased.
I'm sorry.
I think I. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. What are the options for chasers?
Well, let's see. We've got the. Let's see. And he looks over at a menu that's sort of hovering in midair, and he sort of flips a page to one that says Predators. And he is looking it up and down. So you could, let's see. Yes. Well, our no, let's see. We had a Jabberwock, but he's on break right now. We have a hammerhead shark. And
on land.
Oh well, it's the far end. Oh, that's no. She's not on the land. She's above it. And we have a. We have. Oh yes. We have an elephant. If you would like one of those. And hyenas. The hyenas are free. They're quite popular.
Well, the sky shark reminds me of my shadow days. How interesting. Would any of you want to do that as well?
To be chased by a flying shark?
I mean, if it's a service they offer, why not?
Well, it is extra.
I'll split it with you.
But the thing is that I mean, I don't think this is just something that would be something that you two can sort of just split, because I don't think it would be fair to Shark to have to only chase part of the group.
Yeah, I turned to the wolf. Is this like a pre-fee thing? Do we have to order for the whole table?
No. You can. It's 2 additional orbs apiece for anyone who wishes to be chased. That's that, and so they'll know which targets they're. She'll know which targets she's looking for.
Okay, so we can pay to be chased. If Varashka doesn't want to be chased, it doesn't have to be.
Oh no, goodness no. Elsie is a professional.
That's good. That's good to know.
Sorry, does this chasing just involve actual physical mauling, or is it sort of just
Oh goodness no, metaphysical.
metaphysical?
Yes, we're not allowed to do that here. I mean, if you would like at some point to visit us in the green, then that's a different story entirely. We have a bit more free reign there, but apparently there are rules here, so that's what we're doing.
What are the limits on fighting back against the chaser?
Oh well, that's essentially. You can feel free to. You'll have weapons. You may feel free to make use of those as you see fit. There's not in here. You can only you won't be damaging them physically. So it works both ways.
Oh, are you saying that my own personal weapons can't be used?
Oh no, that would hardly be sporting. We discourage that.
Oh, do you have a set of throwing knives by any chance then?
Uh, let's see. We have some edged boomerangs.
Oh, well, that sounds rather adventurous.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
So you'd
take
like.
it. Right?
All right. So the two of you would like. So the two of you would like to switch to ranged. Is that correct?
I will stick with direct.
Yeah. Well, I would prefer to go with range, actually.
Very good. And he will take back your spears, and he will present you each with you each get two boomerangs with this with knife sharp edge on the on the part that you don't grip. So it's just the one edge is blunt, the one end is blunt, and then the rest of it is nice and sharp.
Ooh. Well, this is quite the razor ring. Well, I mean, Vor, if it's been a while since we played a game, shall we make a sport of this?
Always, sir. What do you have in mind?
First person to catch lunch wins. Loser pays.
Seems fair.
I mean, if we are going to go with the shark, though, I think it would only be sporting that I throw in on being prey as well.
Seems fair. Let's do it. And she'll hold out a hand as
Sure, and they'll shake and clang razor rangs together.
scrapes the boomerangs together.
Yeah.
Oh my. Competition. So how often do y'all do this?
Play games. Almost daily, perhaps.
Frequently. Yeah.
If you would like to see the prey menu, and he again picks up a menu in his some menus in his mouth, and then kind of distributes them to you, so you can see what it is that you're looking to order. And so there are things. So there are things like the less expensive food is there's like rabbit, squirrel, things of that nature. Then it escalates further to things like chickens are available, or other birds, doves, things like that. So there's poultry, there's fish on the menu. There's also red meat on the menu. That gets progressively more expensive the more meat you're looking at hunting down, basically.
What do you think? Small or large? I feel like we should hunt the same thing, just to be fair.
That is true. And I think raising the level of difficulty and targeting flying animals would be most interesting, given our weapons of choice.
I like the sound of that. So what kind of flying animals are on the menu?
So at the low end, you have things like doves, pigeons, things like that. As they get more challenging, the price goes up. So you're going to have things like things that are analogous. They're not exactly there's like things called death condors, and things like what would one call them? Pain ostriches, and things as you kind of get further and further up the kind of the food chain.
Are there any eagle turkeys by any chance? I mean, if we're going to go with flying turkeys, I would assume that we could find something a little bit more on the majestic side.
Yes, they do have. There is a. They have. Apparently, they have agony eagles.
Agony eagles? I love it.
Yes.
Agony eagle?
Agony eagle. Let's go with that.
Let's do that.
I think I will do chicken. I have heard it was the tuna of the land.
Yeah. The chicken's not as expensive.
I think I'll go for dove.
Everyone is, I assume, is just going to look at Arras and see what she goes.
Well, this is all a lot more complicated than I was expecting lunch to be. I suppose I'll just get the same thing as someone else. How about a chicken? Chickens are normal eating things.
Right,
They
then
can be.
a dove, 2 chickens, and 2 agony eagles. Right, coming right up. Two targets for the sky shark. Yes.
Sean, do you want to be on the Sky Shark as well?
Sure, but I'll leave the competition to each other.
Okay, so 3 for the Sky Shark.
Three for the sky shark. Okay, very good. All right. Elsie, you've got 3 coming out. Very good. It'll be just a few moments, and the forest will appear when it's ready. When your meal is ready. Good hunting.
Yes, quite. So, so Mac is going to check in his bag and his jacket because he's going to take this seriously. And you'll see him shaking out his hands, stretching a little bit.
Vor's gonna strap her cane sort of to her back that she carries, because her own weapons are not allowed apparently.
I do have an important question. Does anyone order a side salad?
Do we have to hunt that too?
Of course.
Salad and a Diet Coke. No, I'm just kidding.
There are salads also on the menu if you want to hunt those.
Is there a fruit salad?
There is a fruit salad.
Aroshka is really interested in the concept of hunting a salad, so
Yeah.
she will also order salad.
I'm going to order a fruit salad to go with my dove.
Yeah.
What is this area's version of a Caesar salad?
Yeah.
I think
Very
it's,
sharp.
yeah. Let's see, Caesar salad as it's a sort of a bready type thing. Yeah, am I remembering right, or am I forgetting totally? It's with
Caesar
cheese-
salad is
with cheese.
basically lettuce, croutons, and dressing.
Okay, that's right.
Sometimes
chicken.
anchovies.
Yeah. Yes, there is a. They do have currently a crouton crusade, which is a type of salad here.
Okay, I'm gonna order a Caesar too. That's amazing. I want to be in on the crouton crusade.
Excellent. So 2 crouton crusades, a fruit salad, which is apparently fairly heavy on kumquats from what you're reading.
Okay.
What kind of salad is Arushka ordering?
Also a Caesar.
Oh, okay, 3 crouton crusades. Good. Good to know.
Put that on a shirt.
All right, excellent. Yes, very good, very good. Then those will be served first. Good hunting. Good hunting. I'm not going to bother with the with the hunting of the beverages, but we can assume that's also going to happen if you want any.
There better be free refills
Oh, there totally are. But if you order beverages, they hand you an empty cup. They will also hand you, in addition to your weapons, they hand you knives and forks.
Just tuck those away somewhere.
And napkins. And so you're escorted out to a bonobo monkey escorts you out to the middle of this field. Then tips its non-existent hat and nods to you. Sort of, then scampers out, and you hear this thing that sounds like a bell ringing, and quite suddenly a forest appears around you. Very incredibly tall, sort of redwoodish trees.
Oh yes, the natural habitat for sky sharks.
Yes.
And kumquats.
Kumquats.
And as you look around, you're going to note that so as you're kind of looking around, you see what looks like these things sort of spiraling around each other in the air, and as they kind of drift back and forth between the trees, you realize that that one of them is that a couple of them are kumquats, and then there are some other fruits among them, so they're in this cluster that seems to be blowing, kind of like one would imagine that the wind blowing these blowing leaves about. They're gliding through the air in much the same way, and so that's the first thing you see. That's moving around in here.
Okay. I will walk sort of nonchalantly towards the cloud of kumquats.
It slowly starts trying to drift away as you get closer.
Oh. Well, that doesn't sound like ranged. That doesn't sound like direct at all. I think I'll spin behind a tree and sort of snake from tree to tree to approach the kumquats.
Okay. So this is going to be a difficulty of 2 to be able to do this. Are you going to be bringing anything to bear as you are basically hunting down the kumquats?
I think on my first attempt, I will not apply any bene.
Okay. Do you have any skills or anything else you want to use whilst?
I mean, I have gardening, but it's my non-applicable skill. It's the not to be used in game skill. Metalwork, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay. I think since you're using the tree, I'm going to give you a +1 bonus for using the tree.
Okay.
So you have to roll a 1 or better. I think so unless you roll a 0, you're going to be fine.
I rolled a 9.
So those kumquats just didn't see it coming. You leap from behind the tree and impale them with your spear. With your spear. You very easily catch your salad. As Shah is doing this, you will all spot atop a rock these 3 clusters of bread and leaves, of green leaves, leap up, and they have these little cocktail swords looking things in hand. They point. The one on top points, and you hear them sort of cry out something, like, ah! And they start charging toward you.
Oh my.
I'm gonna chuck a boomerang at him.
So this is going to be a difficulty of 3. They do have the high ground on you.
Oh no!
The Crouton Crusades. And
They're angry little buggers, aren't they?
Well, that's what you get for invading their holy land.
All right. I will throw. I'm not going to apply anything to this to start. I'll just.
Are you doing anything to attempt to even your odds, or are you just going to wait for them to come near and just...
Well, I mean, okay, so I do have a skill of charm. So I'm gonna try to charm these croutons. I'll just
Rude.
I'll come up like beside them and like mimic their posture, like I'm like one of them, and then in the last moment I'm just gonna under my arm throw the boomerang.
Excellent, charm the croutons. Yes, I'll give you I will give you a bonus for trying trickery on these unsuspecting croutons. So you need a 2 or better.
All right, let's do it. Let's see how this goes. Hey, I got a 9.
Ah, excellent. Was roll 20 up?
Yeah.
I shall try to get in again. So you got a 9. So yes, you very handily and easily tackle your salad, and manage to defeat it pretty quickly. So let's see, who else ordered salad?
That'd be yes too. Yes. You can go ahead, Aroshka.
Let me see, because I think I have. Of course, where did it go? I have to pull that back up. I think I have one of. I have a spell. Wait. I have a spell called Impedimenta, which I can literally make anything rough terrain for anyone that isn't me.
Oh, nice.
Does that count also for salads? Do they count?
Sure, if you want to do that.
Okay. It's just a level 1. It doesn't say I add any die, so
Do you? Yeah. So yeah, it's just the standard roll. But yeah, so you're using magic to impede them, and so I think I'll give you 2 or better on this because again, you're doing something they're not expecting. They're salads. They're not going to. They're not very bright.
I'm just gonna roll an actual D10 because my computer doesn't like me at the moment.
Yeah, mine neither.
I think it's fabulous that you keep a dice set in your purse.
It's not a purse. It's actually a makeup bag that I had custom made, and then I put dice in it instead of makeup.
That's wonderful.
Even better.
But I rolled like shit. I got a 1.
Okay, so
You've been bested by the salad.
your salad.
No, I just failed to make it difficult for them to run around.
Yeah,
They're so small, you know.
Yeah, they're coming at you, and so they get past you. So you're still looking for them. They're trying to, they're waiting in ambush at this point. Shantano, how do you hunt your salad?
So Shantano is going to do since he was in his shadow life fisherman, he's gonna do that thing where he's just gonna try and work his way around and see if he can wait for one to come close to him, and he's gonna jab at it.
Okay. So you're using fisherman tactics again, something they're not expecting. So that'll be a 2 or better.
Okay, I also have survival if that helps.
Oh, survival. Oh, okay, yeah. So you just need a 1. Then I'll say if you have that as a skill.
Now, where is my roll 20?
Yeah, mine is not doing too well right now.
Cool.
I couldn't get it to come up.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7.
Ah, excellent. So yes, you make quick work as the salad curiously comes up to you. You manage to stab the thing, stab it right through the central crouton, and the salad dies quickly, and you're able to gather it up. and eat it. So as you are partaking of your salad, as most of you are partaking of your salads,
Me.
you're about halfway through when you hear this horn sound, kind of not unlike a hunting horn, and you sort of hear this. You hear this coming. This sort of.
Oh God.
And you hear this sort of. You hear it kind of coming from a clearing ahead of you.
Is that the sound of an agony eagle that I hear?
Sounds very much like one.
It sounds pained.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Do agony eagles create agony, or are they in agony?
yes.
Yes, yeah, both.
It is the most metal of eagles.
That's gonna be my band name, Agony Eagle.
So so Mac is going to actually tie his lunch napkin like a bandana on, and he's going to tuck the silverware into it. Just because it seems very convenient, and he's going to break off into a sprint towards the clearing.
Excellent.
But
Next to him with the boomerangs down at either side, doing like the anime run,
Yes.
yeah, but while we're at that, I'd like to make a perception check for a predator, like a sky shark, perhaps.
This would be a good time to look around for one. Yes, I think so. The sky shark. So let's see. Elsie is going to be. So you chose a shark. This is going to be. I'm going to make it a difficulty of 6 natively. So what are you bringing to bear?
So I've got perception 3, got resist and surviving as skills.
So it sounds as you have perception of 3. You have 3 levels of perception.
I have 3 levels of perception, and then I have level 1 skill of surviving.
So if I'm computing this correctly, which I may not be yet, but we're all still new to this. That sounds to me like that you need a 2 or better than if you apply those.
Okay.
But that's like the pool, right? So then he'd be out of perception until he.
Oh,
did a
your
rest.
perception. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the wrong thing. You're talking about sorry, I got my head in onto skills. You're talking about your certs.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I apologize. So what skills are you using? Are you using any skills?
I'm going to use surviving, and
Okay.
I'm going to use 1 being from perception.
Okay. So that'll bring it down to a 4 or better. And then if there's anything else you're doing, let me know.
I rolled the 7.
Okay. So, yes. As you're sort of keeping an eye out, you do notice silently you spot a shadow just drifting over the some rocks near the side of the clearing, and you look up and you see just sort of there between the trees this figure swimming with a broad head swimming back and forth, and it seems to be coming around slowly, trying to stalk you all as you're running toward this clearing.
I think we've got company, Vor.
Vor just sort of smiles and she's like, I'm ready.
Are you now? Okay. I suppose it's only fair that I assist on this predator. So, what's the plan?
I think I know the answer to this, but did the wolf that let us all in here say that we couldn't use magic? Like, is magic totally legit?
Well, we've already used magic, so.
Yeah, Wolf didn't say anything about magic.
Okay. Well, then I will say to Mac, is like, I'm gonna spin us a wall of fire.
I think that's a very solid idea.
Can I like with Mac having sort of told me where like that it's following us? Can I see it? Can I like do I need to make my own roll to determine where it is? So I know where to put my wall.
No, Max spotted it and pointed it out to you, so you can see where it is.
Okay. Then I'm going to use my Weaver abilities. So for my aggregates, I have fire and challenge. So from fire, I am going to use damage. And from challenge, I am going to use obstacles. And I would like to create a wall of fire that is between us and the sky shark.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me see. As I'm trying to figure out the obstacle for this, so the challenge for this for casting. So I'm trying to think if this is trying to remember how the rules go on this. Yeah, I mean mostly this is still trying to defeat the shark, so I'm going to kind of go off of it. But it's probably going to be at a -1 since it's not expecting magic as much. So it's starting off at a 5. Is there anything? What's the level of the spell?
Well, with Weaver magic, we have to determine that from the effects table. There's no set. I don't have spells. I just
Gotcha. Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. You get to determine what you think
from the effects table. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let me grab that. Okay. And before I go hunting too deeply for this, do they specify where? Let's see. Okay, GM determines the level of color for the effect. Okay, qualities of Weaver aggregate suggest the effect is within their capability. Determines a level and a color for the effect at that point. Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna guess this is. Let me see here. Weaver. Looking in the index. The index is lying to me. And let's try. Yeah, 60. Okay, Weaver threads, aggregates, and. So, because I am not necessarily seeing it immediately, I'm just going to, let me see, I'm going to see if I can figure this out real quick. Example effects. Okay, I'm going to look at the examples and see what we're looking at. All right. So yeah, I'm going to call this a level 3.
Okay. Okay, so I have to spend 3 sorcery points, and then I can spend sortilege, right, to lower the difficulty of the check, or
sortilege, yes. I remembered what sortilege did at one time. I think so. Let me grab it here. because that will help. Sortilege. Yeah. I think it's yes. I think there's a limit of 1.
Okay.
But yeah, since for any type of magic, but it's 1.
This is
Unless you have a special thing. There's a special
Right.
thing you can take to get more
So
than that.
it's a level 3 effect, so I would need a 3, and then if I spend a 3 or higher than a 3, and then if I spend a sortilege, I need a 2.
Yeah.
Higher than, right.
I'll use my sortilege since I agreed to help with the shark.
Okay, so I just need a better than 1.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool. That seems.
So it's basically don't roll a 0. That's what I'm looking for.
3.
There you go. So yes, a wall of fire springs up, crossing between these 2 large trees. This span, as this shark starts flying around, and you cut them off, and make it into the clearing. As you see these eagles that are sort of this dark sort of black and silver in color, are diving at you. They're trying to fight back, but we shall see.
Boomerang.
The rest of you, as you're getting ready for this, let's see. The only one I think that let's see who all ordered the shark. I think Shantano's the only other one who has to worry about the shark. That's been cut off for the moment.
I was kind of actually hoping that that would just deter the shark from chasing Vor and me, and the shark would just decide to go after Shantano.
Well, it's
a good point that Mac and I are the ones chasing the agony eagles.
It's fair. At the same time, though, I mean, the shark is for the 3. So it's probably going to start nosing in that direction in a moment, but it is distracted for just a moment. So Shantano can take advantage of that as well. Let's see. So there are. You do hear the sounds of. So at the edge of the clearing, you do hear this sort of.
The chickens at my work go.
Yeah. So the chickens are going to be so here's the spread. Just so I'll give it to everyone. So the chickens are going to be a difficulty of 2. The dove is going to be a difficulty of 3 because it's up sort of flittering. Now you can see it between the treetops and can kind of conceal itself. And the eagles are going to each be a difficulty natively of 5 because they are the most metal of eagles. And then you can each do things to effectively reduce that.
Can I assume that even though the dove hitting difficulty is a level 3, that this is a level 0 creature?
Yeah, it in and of itself would be considered a level 0 creature, I think.
Okay, I'm just going to use my Forte ability and do Vile Durance and throw it into the cage on my hip.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to wait for the drama with the shark to pass, at which point I can just release it and it will appear right next to me on the ground and I can stick a spear through it.
That's excellent. Okay. What is what's Shantano doing?
Shantano is actually kind of waiting for the shark to notice it. So he's slowly creeping towards the chickens, but he's not in any rush.
Okay. All right. I'll get back to you in a second. What's Aroshka doing?
Well, since making the terrain difficult was not useful for the salad. I do have my shadow skill because in the shadow I was an animal trainer. My shadow skill is level 2 animal training. Can I like try and lure the chickens into a false sense of security so they come close to me?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. That is
So that's your skill is animal training, right?
Yes.
So that's So you just need a 1 or better.
I got a 2.
Excellent. Congratulations. So you're kind of cut out to the clearing. You're pulling at it, and what are what are Mac and Vor doing as they're attacking these eagles?
Well, I would like to use my Forte ability, which lets me read the thoughts of one being within close range. So I guess the question, it says, I know what they're thinking and what their overall mental state is. So I would like to use that to anticipate what my eagle is going to do before I throw my boomerang.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you're going to get.
So it's a level 2 ability.
Okay. I'm gonna say in the case of this instance, since we're just hunting for lunch, I'm not going to call for a roll for using that right now. And I'm just gonna say you can kind of anticipate which way the eagle's going to go, using that, and so I'm gonna that'll knock it down as an asset. Actually, I'm gonna give you 2 on that. So you would need a 3 or better.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna try it. Let's see. Yes. Got a 9.
Okay. So you're going to be lobbing your boomerang at the.
And I'll just like throw both of them like as cool as I can look doing this. How cool I want to look. Bor's all about style.
Excellent. And Mac, what are you doing in the attacking of these this eagle?
So Mac is going to just use one boomerang because he's very efficient, but he's going to do it in such a way that it flies past his target and hits them on the return back. But it's a called shot. He's going to go for the head.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the cleverness of what you're doing is going to be offset by the difficulty. So it's still going to be a 5. Is there anything else you want to bring to bear?
So I do have a level 1 skill in breaking objects. I'm going to say that if I'm aiming to break the head,
we will let you use it on this occasion at the very least, so that'll bring it down 1.
Okay. And I'm going to use game theory in order to sort of predict positioning.
I can see that working. So yeah, you'll need 3 or better.
So game theory is level 3. I don't know if that skill level 3, so I don't know if that brings it down
down further or not. Yeah, right now I'm going to need to go back and look at it a bit more. I'll say for the time being, that since I was just wanting to apply the levels to the thing.
Okay.
So yeah, sure. I'll just say for this one, and I'll just do a 1 or better.
Okay. 7.
Okay. Yeah. No. Absolutely. So you do it, execute it perfectly. It circles around and starts heading back. Shantano. So you're sort of been creeping up, sort of in the direction of the chickens, but watching for the, waiting for the shark to notice you. It has come around the wall and has noticed you, and is now arrowing back and forth between the trees, in your direction. This hammerhead shark floating through the air. Its jaws opening and closing. What would you like to do?
Shantano's gonna wait for the shark to come essentially up to it, and I'm guessing it does attack like a regular shark, just biting.
Yeah.
So he's gonna wait for the shark to literally like start like right when it starts to bite him. He wants to jab the spear into the chicken and see if he can use his ability.
And which ability are we using?
His path ability. It's a splintering into fragments.
Oh, gotcha. So the shark's gonna
deep-
pass through you.
Well, it's like it still bites down, but
But it's
right.
But
The
it'll
attack
still-
technically
will take
misses.
I gotcha.
You know.
Okay. No, that's good. So I think what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be more the shark that you're having to time this for, than the chicken. I'm gonna make this just a single roll. So let's see. I think the shark I originally said was a 6. We're gonna knock that down to a 5. For your trickery. Is there anything else you want to use to make this easier?
I have stealth and survival. I'm pretty sure only survival might work for that.
Yeah, stealth isn't in play right now because the shark has spotted you. But survival will knock it down further, so it'll be a 4 or better.
All right, 4 or better. Oh.
Okay. So the good news is you managed to. So here's kind of as the scene plays out. Boomerangs are flying. 2 of them toward one which gets one of these metal eagles as it's like. One of them swoops around behind. Aroshka sort of to the side manages to get the. Her chicken is sort of lured out and just manage to get. Shah basically just sort of stands there as the shark sort of swims around and past you, toward Shantanu, and bites down just as you are stabbing your prey, but the actual. So it does seem to. So it sort of goes past, and it does. You're still sort of a little bit fragmented as the shark kind of comes past because you have these sort of metaphysical teeth marks in you. But you did get the chicken. So the hunt is ended. I am going to I'm going to veil the actual killing of the animals, and we're going to skip ahead just a little bit to a little bit later, where you are all sitting around a fire in the middle of the clearing, and you have just you have cooked your animals. That is as you're eating, that is the time when toward the end of this, as you're just Aroshka, as you're sitting down to have your chicken, the final crouton crusade leaps out of the bushes and attempts to attack you. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do to avoid this attack?
I mean, I don't have that as a skill, but can I just dodge?
Sure.
Can I assist in any way as my like sort of battle reflexes from shadow? Can I?
Yeah, you can sort of if you spot the salad attacking, you can basically either you can shout out a warning or you can just kind of position yourself so that it'll affect what it's doing. And I figure Arishka, you can use that as sort of an asset, and so that it would bring the difficulty down to 2 or better.
2 or better. I should just keep one of these D10s out instead of getting it out every time. 1 second. I can't leave it on the floor. My cats will eat it.
That's fair.
I don't actually know where it went.
Oh dear.
So for right this second, I'm gonna roll a different D10, and then I'm gonna look for that one. A 7.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. So Shah distracts the salad as it is charging you.
I smacked it right out of the air. Oh.
Yeah, it's leaping up, croutons just sort of drifting around inside it as you slice it down. You slice the salad in twain. You have defeated the salad. Congratulations. You have all defeated your lunch, and victorious, you consume it.
I found it. It was good.
We're about at the end of our time.
Wait a minute, we can't end this session without knowing who won the bet between
A whole session.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair.
fair.
We can. No, just. But yeah. So we can. We're getting ready to close. Yeah. Feel free. So yes. How do you determine who it was that won the bet?
I don't know. I mean, we threw it at pretty much the same time, right?
Well, I want to say that since Vor did roll higher, I'm going to say we'll give it to Vor for rolling a 9 versus a 7.
I think. While what Mac did was stylish, Vor's was even more stylish. And so I think that she does win the day on that one.
Well, she used 2. Let's be real.
That's true.
But it was in the interest of looking cool. I mean, really, the first one got the kill. The second one was just for style.
I suppose.
Simul boomeranging.
The trick shot.
Well, I would say that mine was the
His
more
was the trick
stylish trick shot.
This was the trick.
But
But
we'll say that Vor's was much faster because I had to take some time to line up the shot just right.
I will. We will shake on that as the friendly resolution of our wager.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do during lunch?
Shantano's comment is like, interesting. Physical pain. It's been a while since I remembered what that was like.
Right now, you're experiencing more the idea of pain than pain itself, but it's still, it's coalescing back. I mean, by the time you're done with your lunch, it's healed up.
It's the idea of physical pain.
It doesn't do any actual physical damage to you.
Well, it's not every day that you'll have a lunch where you're also a part of the food chain.
It's a whole new meaning of farm to table.
It's fair. So, anything else during the lunch, or shall we? Okay. At the end of
conviviality.
Yeah, at the end of lunch, the wolf will come back and present you with your bill, and we'll ask, well, was everything all right?
Oh, it was excellent.
Very good.
Was
Nice.
an experience.
Indeed.
Would those of you who ordered the Sky Shark care to fill out a brief survey, just on Elsie's performance?
Oh, absolutely.
Very good. And he'll present you also with a second piece of paper, with your survey on it, just asking about a few things, the how you would rate the swimming, were you how much do you agree or disagree? Were you with the statement, "I was terrified by my predator"? Things of that nature.
Because Vor wants to make friends, she's gonna give like a glowing review.
Excellent.
Of
Good.
Elsie's performance, like truly terrifying, Sky Shark, awful, reacted appropriately to stimuli, really impressive bite maneuver on Shantano, like a glowing review and then give it back to the wolf.
Yeah.
Like,
There is a space where they on Shantano's well, it's on everyone's, but Shantano's the only one to whom it applies. A question for you to rate your injury on a scale of like 1 to 5. The 1 being not a very good quality injury, 5 being like one of the best, most horribly painful injuries. How you would rate that injury?
He would write 5 out of 5. It was a most unpleasant bite.
Excellent. Good. Elsie will be pleased.
I will say that the spike in adrenaline from spotting the predator as I was challenging my meal was added a very good spice to my final dish.
That's good. That's very good. That's what we look for.
Please thank Elsie for us for her wonderful performance.
They will. The wolf absolutely will do so. And I think that is where we're going to end it, unless anyone had anything immediately they wanted to leap in on. I think that's good. We enter the afternoon.
So just a quick question: was this our actual journey, or is the journey like something else that we're supposed to go on like after this?
I feel as though the journey is going to continue. This might not exactly be the journey. There may be more. Surprisingly, this quest was not about lunch.
I think at some point during lunch, Shaw might bring up the question of, given that all these things come from the other suns to Saturnine, do you suppose there are doorways from here into the other suns?
I don't see why not.
Seems logical.
Just
I would
philosophically.
assume so. Well, I mean, I know there are some members of my organization who do make the pilgrimage to the original Cathedral of the Luminism, which resides in the Blue Sun. So I imagine that we could at least find our way there if we want to go.
That would be an interesting trip.
I wonder what the lunch restaurants are like there.
Just have to find out.
Makes sense. Definitely makes
Hopefully
sense.
it's not too difficult a journey.
One never knows. Well, I think we're going to go ahead then and leave it there. Let us, as we now conclude this very silly episode of The Edge of Paradox, so we're sort of getting into this. We're going to go around again the opposite way. And feel free to just say where folks can find you, and if you had any final thoughts about this session. And we are going to start with Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle. I'm at RyRacontora on Twitter and at Thalia Alata on Instagram. You can follow me on either if you like tabletop games, cosplay, novel writing, and just general nerdery. You can catch me a lot streaming. Right now I don't have anything actively going other than this Invisible Sun game, but in about a week or so I should have a big announcement coming up, so you can follow me.
Awesome. Excellent. And let us move on to Anino.
Hey, I'm Anino. You can find me best on Twitter. That's Anino Gaming, one word. See, tomorrow I have my extra live stream for 2 hours at a special time, 11 o'clock Eastern, covering for another person. And then next Thursday, I will be on this channel again for Bad Streets as Hawaii's Clyde Ho. Thanks, Levi. And we're gonna have some fun with that. And then and then back again on next Saturday for another thrilling edition of Invisible Sun.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Were there any thoughts about the session?
I thought it was interesting that the salad turned out to be a fairly big challenge.
Only for me.
I just love the whole idea of us hunting our food. I am so pleased we decided to go to the green for lunch.
Excellent. And it also turns out I wore the correct backdrop today. It was very silly. Let us move on to Arras.
Hello, I am Arras. I am Animus Panthera most places. I'm Animus Panthera on Twitter, which is also where I'm most active. I cosplay. I'm a zoologist if you like animals or talking about animals or you want to know fun animal facts. I also make jewelry. And that was the most exciting lunch I've ever had, real or fictional. That was like totally not where I was expecting that to go today. So
Excellent. That was. I'm glad you got revenge on the salad. That was important, I think. That's very good. Let's move on to Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde Engineer. You can find me on Mondays or on Scratix Academy for some Call of Cthulhu. We're having our finale. Also on Welcome to the Party on Mondays, some Masks a New Generation. Tuesdays on Encounter Roleplay for some D&D. On Saturdays, this Saturday, I am running a game of City of Mists on Scratix Academy, and also on doing some Greyhawk channel for some D&D BX, and here again for Invisible Sun.
Yay! Oh, that's a full day.
Today was great. I think Shantano was pleased that something broke him instead of him, or them instead of them breaking themselves. So. And Crouton Crusade. Oh my.
Yeah. These things happen. And finally, Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. You can find me at Djinnaya pretty much everywhere, including Twitter, where I shout about games and life and contemporary art. You can find me Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Encounter Roleplay, playing our penultimate episode of Things from the Flood. Tales from the Loop, Things from the Flood, with Nemetic, and that's gonna be crazy. And I just got my new Fall of Magic in the mail for the new zine for the things, and I am very much jonesing to play the Song of the Machine. So if you follow me on Twitter, I am definitely going to be looking for players soon to start running through a couple of those. And as far as the game tonight, that was super fun and exactly what I needed. Like I felt like it was really nice to have us all kind of have this like bizarre hunting bonding moment, and I'm super glad that Aroshka didn't get attacked by Salad. And yeah, it was just like it was just that right moment of kind of realizing how weird it is here, and yet also how much joy there is in that weirdness. So I liked it a lot.
Yay! Awesome. Very cool, very cool. This was delightful. This was such a delightful session. Very, very pleased. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. Tomorrow, we are the one shot we are doing is going to be For the Queen, which is a wonderful story game that full of plotting and tragedy in many ways, so do tune in for that if you have any interest. This week on this channel, Thursday, we will be returning to Bad Streets to do our short campaign of that. Again, that's a 1970s cop show powered by the apocalypse. And on the weekends, we do video games. Also on Friday nights, I'm over on Off the Table playing in their 1890s Urban Shadows campaign, San Guajona the Claiming. And then that puts us back around to Saturday, where we will have more Invisible Sun. And again, there might be another downtime session sometime this week. We'll see. It just depends on what folks want to do. Sign-ups are still open right now for Avarice, which is a game that kind of takes Dwarf Fortress and The Quiet Year and Dread and throws them all into a blender. to create a wonderful subterranean catastrophe. Matt will be here guest jamming that. Still looking for a few players for that if you want to dive in, so that's still open. And also, signups are open for Posthuman Pathways, which is a one-shot we'll be running at the end of this month, which is about the future of our species and transhumanism, and what sort of choices we need to make and what we need to give up. And so that's, I think, going to be a fun story game as well. As always, beginners are welcome. You want to sign up for any of those, either click on the sign up link below or go to my website and click on game sign up, and they will all be there. So when we go to the end card, I am going to send a raid over to Christiana Ellis. Her D&D show, So Many Levels, is going on. They're doing a one-shot, and so we're gonna send you over there. And so feel free to, if you like to, hang on and say hi. And that will be after we go to the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you next week. Farewell.